Teens and tobacco smoking in the U.S. What is a cigarette? A cigarette is a thin cylinder of finely cut tobacco rolled in paper for smoking. But what some people don't know is all the other harmful materials that are in cigarettes. Some of these materials include butane, carbon monoxide, benzene, and arsenic. So what can smoking do to your body? Smoking can affect many different parts of your body, such as your respiratory system, nervous system, and your cardiovascular system. So let's start with the respiratory system. Since coughing only filters out some of the toxins, many get trapped in the lungs, which is why smokers have a higher chance of getting respiratory infections, cold, or the flu. Two common diseases with smoking are chronic bronchitis, which is the lining of the tubes of your lungs becoming inflamed, and emphysema, a condition in which the air sacs in your lungs are eventually destroyed due to blockage of airflow. Some other risks may include macular degeneration, cataracts, and poor eyesight. On top of that, it can also weaken your sense of taste and smell. Smoking can cause anxiety because the nicotine affects the neurotransmitters associated with anxiety and the state of wellness. Smoking has been linked with the brain matter degeneration and cellular death. Some other risks may include macular degeneration, cataracts, and poor eyesight. On top of that, it can also weaken your sense of taste and smell. Smoking can cause anxiety because the nicotine affects the neurotransmitters associated with anxiety and the state of wellness. Smoking has been linked with the brain matter degeneration and cellular death. Nicotine and other chemicals in tobacco have a direct negative impact on dopamine and serotonin, two neurotransmitters that are associated with depression and mental health. Smoking cigarettes can also have a serious negative impact on brain-based skills. Nicotine directly affects the neurotransmitters associated with learning, memory, and cognition. Lastly, we have the circulatory system. Nicotine causes blood vessels to tighten, which reduces circulation of blood. This can cause high blood pressure, which can also result in the stretching of arteries, also increased heart rate, blood clots, arterial wall buildup, and a decrease in body temperature. Smoking can increase your risk of blood clots, which can increase a smoker's risk of stroke. In the long term, smokers are at greater risk of blood cancer or leukemia, as well as increased risks of peripheral vascular disease, stroke, heart attack, and coronary heart disease. Teen smoking in the U.S. About 9 out of 10 cigarette smokers first tried smoking by 18, and 99% first tried smoking by age 26. Each day in the U.S., more than 3,800 teens smoke their first cigarette, and an additional 2,100 teens become daily cigarette smokers. Approximately 440,000 Americans die each year from diseases related to smoking. About 90% of these Americans started as teen smokers. If smoking continues at the current rate among teens, 5.6 million of today's Americans that are younger than 18 will die early from a smoking-related illness. That is 1 out of 13 American teens. How are teens getting into smoking? Some ways have been through advertisements, peer influence, and adults or older beings that they look up to. Advertisement is one of the biggest reasons teens can start to smoke. Smoking can be seen anywhere from TV ads to billboards, movies, magazines, and now even social media. Social media is one of the biggest ones that draws teens in. You can scroll down a social media site and see multiple posts about smoking or actual ads without trying to look for one. Tobacco companies will promote their product and it will show how much of a good time you can have while smoking and how safe smoking is. But in reality, these ads are false and try to drag more teens into smoking. If tobacco companies actually used honest ads telling you all about the risk health factors, how many teens would be lured in by these ads? Whether this is just someone asking you if you want to smoke, or even if all your friends are smoking around you, or just talking about smoking, you can feel like you need to smoke just to fit in. Peer influence is a big reason that teens will start to smoke. If you see someone you look up to, such as a teacher or a parent smoking, some people might consider this just a normal thing that people do when they're grown up. Teens that see this can view smoking as just a mature grown-up thing to do. What teenager doesn't want to act more mature and grown up? How to keep teens away from smoking? There was only one real way to keep teens away from smoking, and that is just to inform them of all the potential risks and negatives that can come with smoking. After this, it is mostly up to the teens themselves to overcome peer pressure and choose which path they want to go down.
created using Powtoon.